There's about 8 billion people on this planet, and everyone has a unique story to tell. Some people write their stories, others film their stories. Whatever your case may be, I'm here to show you some free online resources that you can use to help take your storytelling to the next level. Hey guys, I'm Mike, and my first real exposure to storytelling probably began a few years ago in college when I was working towards earning my associate's degree in business. One of the last courses I needed to graduate was a class on children's literature, where the final project was to create your very own children's book. My teacher basically gave us two options. We could either create a children's book entirely by hand, or we could create it using a computer. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my drawing skills are pretty bad. So I chose the second option and created my children's book entirely by computer. If you want to see how the story turned out, then please watch this video till the end. The book is called The Very Messy Baby, and it actually has a pretty funny plot twist at the end of it. Alright, the first free online resource that I want to talk about is in regards to writing. Students, comedians, and YouTubers all use writing as a foundation for how they tell their stories. I think the one writing platform that most people are familiar with is Microsoft Word. Most people have access to this writing resource either through work, school, or the library. And if not, there are basic versions of Microsoft Word that you can access from home for free. Another online resource you could use for writing is Google Docs, which is similar to Microsoft Word, except it allows for multiple users to edit a document at the same time. So if you're working on a group project for school, you could be working in New York while your classmate works in Singapore, and you'll both be able to edit the project at the same time. There's pros and cons for using each of these platforms, but both have spell check and both are free. Another free online resource you could use to help tell your story is in regards to pictures. Pictures can help retain your audience's attention when you are telling your story. In my case, my intended audience was children, so I put a lot of pictures throughout the book to help keep them engaged. All the pictures I used were free and came from Microsoft Word's online gallery. You could also use Microsoft PowerPoint as a resource for finding pictures you're interested in. Both of these platforms use the Bing.com search engine to find pictures on the internet that are free to use and fall under the Creative Commons license. If you've never heard of Creative Commons before, it basically just means that the author of the original material is giving the public permission to use their work under copyright law. This applies to music, movies, pictures, and other types of content. So always be sure to double check that the pictures you are downloading from the internet fall under the Creative Commons category. Another free resource you could use for downloading pictures is called Pexels.com. This website has over 3 million different types of stock photos that you can download for free. I would say in terms of picture quality, any photos you find on Microsoft Word are going to be pretty basic, whereas if you want more high quality photos, then Pexels.com is definitely the way to go. This website allows people from all over to upload and share their photos with the world, all for free. So they really have photos for any type of category you're looking for, which is great for storytelling. I know I've used photos from here before with some of my YouTube videos. Sometimes, however, photos are not going to be enough when it comes to telling your story. If you really want to engage your audience, then you need access to free videos, and that's also where Pexels.com comes in handy. Not only does this website have free stock photos, but they also have free stock footage as well. So if you're trying to tell a story about your recent trip to the dentist, but don't feel like shoving a camera in your dentist's face, then don't worry, Pexels.com has a video for that. Always be sure to look under the video for the Creative Commons license. That way you know the video is free to use. The last thing I want to talk about before I show you the children's book I created is in regards to audio. When telling a story, your audience needs to be able to hear you to understand what's going on. So unless you're planning on writing your story in the form of a book, you're going to need a way to record your audio. And I've found the best free way to do that is by using your phone. Most smartphones come with a voice recorder installed in them, and if not, it's not hard to find a voice recorder app that you can download. The audio is pretty decent, and you can record cool sounds like this. Sometimes, however, your story needs a really cool sound, and that's where freesound.org comes into play. All you have to do is type in what you're looking for, and then you have free access to cool sounds like this. Thanks, Samster Birdies! If you want to add some background music to your story, then I would encourage you to check out the Creative Commons website. They have an entire list of websites that offer free and paid versions of music that fall under the Creative Commons license. I usually just use music from the YouTube audio library. They have a bunch of different genres of free music and tells you whether or not you have to credit the artist, which in most cases you don't have to. Alright, as promised, here is the children's book I created for a school project in community college. There is a funny plot twist at the end, so please make sure you watch all the way through.
The Very Messy Baby by Frugal Fam. There once was a messy baby who loved to play outside. His favorite food in the entire world was ice cream, and he enjoyed helping Mom make pie. But when it came time to take a bath every night, the baby only knew how to cry and fight, for the baby was afraid of the deep bathtub water. Until one day he met a friendly chicken taking a bath. Silly bird, everyone knows that chickens do not need to take a bath. Of course we do, how else would we make friends? The baby could not believe his eyes, but the baby ignored the chicken and continued to play in the mud. Until the next day, when the baby saw a dog taking a bath. Silly animal, everyone knows dogs do not take baths. Of course we do, how else would we get fed every day? Once again, he ignored the dog and continued to crawl home for supper. However, his mother refused to let him inside the house. Supper will be ready after you have taken a bath. So the baby decided to crawl to see his friends instead. Except his friends did not want to play. Ew, no way. He's way too stinky. The baby became sad and asked the chicken for help. How do I take a bath if I'm afraid of the deep water? That's easy. Just use a rubber ducky. That will help you stay afloat. The baby was really happy with the chicken's advice, but he really wanted to see what the dog had to say. Mrs. Dog, I have a question for you. What should I do if I think baths are boring? That's simple, just add bubbles. The dog made taking a bath look so easy. Now it was time for the baby to try. The baby crawled home and remembered what the chicken and dog had told him. Finally, a clean baby who gets to enjoy supper with all his friends.
Guys, the baby ate one of his best friends. Well, that children's book is definitely not going to get published.